Why the Golden State Warriors are so hot right now. As you all know, the NBA season has started and the Warriors have taken down some big name teams and they currently rank 3rd in the Western Conference. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 reasons why the Golden State Warriors are so hot right now and why they continue to beat the rest of the NBA. So make sure you like this video, and don't forget, if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get straight into the first reason, and the first reason being Steph Curry is playing at an MVP level. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the team as a whole is doing a fantastic job, but Steph Curry is definitely leading the way with his averages so far in this season. He's averaging 33.3 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 2 steals a game. So this is honestly insane. He's actually improved in a lot of categories so far as he did last season. Last season he was only averaging 25 points, so he's averaging 8 more points this season, and he continues to do that while keeping up the same rebound, assist, and also steal average. And I think that's honestly fantastic to see from someone like Steph Curry. A lot of people did cancel him out this year, saying that he is getting older, he's on his way to 35 years old, and he's not going to get any better anytime soon. But Steph Curry proved all those haters wrong, and he is honestly playing at such a high level, and if anything, better than he was last season. I don't really know what he's doing differently. In all honesty, I think he has gotten a lot better when it comes to being more stronger, especially driving into the paint, and that's what's helped him to really add a great inside game and a great defense to his abilities so far. We always knew he's a great shooter, and he continues to shoot at such a high level. This season, he's actually averaging more threes at 12 3-point attempts per game, but he's actually shooting a higher percentage than he was last season, with this season averaging 44% from the 3-point line. Guys, 44% from the 3-point line, and is averaging 12 threes a game. There is literally no one else on that level who's shooting that many threes and keeping that consistent of a 3-point shot. So, Steph Curry is playing out of his mind, but I think we all expected it, especially for us as Golden State Warriors fans, and he continues to keep this up. He will definitely become better as time goes on, and especially as the season goes on as well. They have first a couple of big teams that have done very, very well, and Steph Curry has definitely led the way in that, providing a lot not only on offense but also on defense nowadays, due to the fact that he's a lot more stronger. He knows better on defense how to really maneuver the offense and keep it up. So I think that's fantastic to see from Steph, and if he does keep this up, we will definitely see them in an NBA Finals very, very soon. The second reason why the Golden State Warriors are so hot right now is the effect of James Wiseman. Now, as you all know, James Wiseman was injured last season, but he is still a 2022 NBA champion. But, however, this season, now that he is back, he has provided a lot for this Golden State Warriors team, especially coming off the bench. Now, as you all know, James Wiseman was obviously the second-hand man to someone like Kevon Looney, who now has the starting position. But James Wiseman coming off the bench and only averaging 17 minutes per game has been putting up such great stats. He's actually averaging 11 points per game, 6 rebounds, and also 1.3 assists. And this is honestly fantastic due to the fact that he is only playing around 17 minutes per game and is doing this coming off the bench, and also is the highest scorer off the bench besides Jordan Poole. So he's done a fantastic job really providing everything from rebounding, defense, points, and I think it's honestly great to have someone like him coming off the bench. Now, when I compare him to other second unit bigs, I honestly think James Wiseman is one of the best, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's able to take advantage, and especially that second unit with Jordan Poole and James Wiseman is able to take advantage, especially in later down the game. So I think it's honestly fantastic to have someone like him back in the roster. He's still very young at age 21 and still has a lot of growing to do. He stands at 7 foot, 240 pounds, so he definitely is a big. You know, a lot of teams nowadays, they love to run small ball, so their bigs or their centers usually end up being around 6'10", sometimes even maybe 6'6". A perfect example of this is actually someone like Montrezl Harrell, who is a center, but he's only 6'6". So to have someone like James Wiseman, who stands 7 foot tall, able to rebound, able to jump, you know, and is still a young player, so has all the athleticism in the world, is really him taking advantage of these other teams. And I think it's honestly great, not only for the Golden State Warriors, but also for James Wiseman himself. He's improving every single day, and he's becoming better as time goes on, and I think it's honestly fantastic what he has provided for this team. Now, in his 2.4 3-point percentage actually is very high at 72%, guys. So he's definitely more of an inside big or a 2-point mid-range type big, and he's done a fantastic job playing very, very efficiently as well with that 72% 2-point percentage field goal percentage. So I think that's honestly fantastic to see. His rebounding has always been great. His defense has always been great as well. But I think where I've really seen him really become someone and improve is definitely in his scoring ability. I don't know whether he's learned that from Steph, Klay, maybe even Draymond or Kevon Looney, but he has a new scoring system that he's been able to take advantage of. And I think it's fantastic to see what James Wiseman has developed, because now he's definitely doing such a great job coming off the bench, averaging 10, 11, 12 points per game. The third reason why the Golden State Warriors are so hot right now is definitely their offensive ability as a team. Now, as a team, the Golden State Warriors pretty much are unstoppable because they have some of the greatest stats and are able to do it at such a high level. Now, to give you an example of this, there is a stat called the pace factor, which is an estimate of possessions per 48 minutes. So how many possessions per 48 minutes? And someone like the Golden State Warriors actually have 109.5 as their pace factor. Now, to put this in perspective, they actually rank number 1 in this category. So in saying that, guys, they have the most possessions and play at such a fast pace that a lot of these other teams aren't able to keep up. And with that fast pace also comes the amount of points that they score, because they actually rank second in the most points scored by any NBA team. So they are honestly doing the fantastic job on offense, being able to provide the most points, and also, one of the highest pay factors ever since. So, having them ranked number 1 in that category and also ranked number 2 in points shows that their offensive ability is honestly second to none, and they are very, very efficient from that. Now, looking at even more efficiency as their 3-point attempt rate, they actually shoot a .445 as a 3-point attempt rate, and they actually rank 4th in that category. And if you also look at their 2-point field goal percentage as a team, they actually rank 2nd there as well. So they are honestly very efficient from the 2-point line, from the 3-point line, and I think that's what makes them so good on offense. Yes, they got great defense, but when it comes down to the Golden State Warriors, having players like Steph, Klay, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, the list really does go on and on. They are some of the best offensive players when they are all together, and that definitely does show because the stats don't lie, guys. To be able to rank, at first at that pace factor, I think is very important, and that really does show how fast Golden State Warriors teams are compared to any other team. And to put that in perspective, when it comes to their pace factor of 109, the next team that is second, their pace factor is actually only 98. So they are literally almost 11 to 12 points more when it comes to every other team, and I think that's what makes them so special in that category. Now, when it comes to other offensive things such as free throw percentages, they actually rank 3rd in that, which is great to see, and they also rank a lot in offensive rating at being 9th with 114. So when it looks at the team stats, you really do see, and you see how they may not be first in everything, but they're definitely in the top 5, top 10 of a lot of the key categories, and I think that's what really makes them so dangerous out on the court. You can definitely see in their ball movement as well, the way they move, they really do try to get a shot up in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, and that's what really makes them so dangerous, because they're able to find open shots within that 10 seconds, especially having players like Steph in your team. Reason number 4 is Andrew Wiggins is playing at an all-star level. Now, we have talked about this before, but Andrew Wiggins continues to surprise me each and every single day. I always thought he was a superstar last season as well, but he is honestly getting better, and I think that's something that's surprising a lot of people. And to put in perspective on just how good he is doing, when it comes to his points, last season he was averaging 17 points, this season 22 points. When we look at his rebounds, last season he was averaging 4 rebounds, this season he's averaging 7. When it comes to assists, he was averaging 1 assist per game, and this season he's averaging 3. And when it comes to steals, he was averaging 0.5 steals per game last season, and this season he's averaging 2.5. So guys, he is literally in every single category improved, and that is honestly fantastic and insane to see. He even improved his turnovers from last season being 1.5 to now being only 0.2. So when it comes to what he has improved, he's pretty much improved his whole game, whether it's 2-point, 3-point, and you definitely see that in the stat sheet. And I think Andrew Wiggins continues to surprise me and surprise a lot of you guys. Now, when it comes to the NBA and why they haven't really slept on someone like Andrew Wiggins, I definitely think back in his Minnesota days, he hasn't developed into a player that he once was. But in the Golden State Warriors era, where he's been playing with such great players such as Steph, Klay, Jordan Poole, Draymond, all these great players, he has definitely developed into a scoring machine. Now, to put that even to more perspective, his three-point percentages has actually gone up all the way to 39.5%, which is great to see. And also his two-point percentages has increased from last season being 51% to this season being 62%. So he's honestly killed every single statistical category, and it's honestly insane just to see how great he has done so far for this team. Now, when it comes to Andrew Wiggins, he is 27 years old, so he's definitely in the peak of his career. Stands at 6'7", 197 pounds, moves like a guard, but has the strength of a big man, and I think that's what makes him so special, especially for a team such as the Golden State Warriors. He continues to surprise a lot of us, and I think that's something you definitely have to take into an account. The fifth reason is Golden State Warriors team defense. Now, I know offense is definitely what Golden State Warriors are seen as. You know, they have some of the greatest shooters ever to ever play the NBA. They also have other shooters such as Andrew Wiggins now in the team. They got Jordan Poole coming off the bench, all that great stuff, but their defense definitely is what's shining as well. Now, to give you a perspective on just how great their defense is, they're actually ranked 4th in steals, they're actually ranked 8th in blocks, and also on top of that, their defensive rating actually is a league rank of 8th as well. So it may not be as high as their offensive rating, but for them to be in the top 10 categories for those such as steal, blocks, and defensive rating, it does show that they have solid defense as well. And when you compare that or add that to a great offense, which the Golden State Warriors have, even though their defense isn't up to the same standard as their offense, it's enough to have them win NBA championships, and it is enough to have them dominate the league so far. And I think they are going to continue to do that as the season goes by. Their defensive strategies will definitely start to change, especially for different teams. And I think a lot of these players that haven't even played in this Golden State Warriors team so far, such as JaMychal Green, Dante DiVincenzo, and even Moses Moody and Kuminga, who are now getting more minutes, they will develop into really honing in on this team chemistry and in their team roles. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.